Good evening, everyone. This is our 15th episode of Z.I.P Talks, and today we are with Miss Stacey Jones, a first volunteer for many, many years. My name is Mohil, and I'm part of the team. I'm part of Team Z.I.P Ties, and I'm the outreach lead.
Hi, how are you guys? Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. This is really exciting. So, whatever I can do and whatever I can answer, hopefully I can answer everything.
Alrighty, thank you. So, first off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Wow. Okay. So I am the program delivery partner for First Lego League in South Florida. We run 8 counties, all the way from Miami-Dade, all the way from the Keys to Miami-Dade to Broward, Palm Beach County, Okeechobee County, St. Lucie County, Martin County, and Indian River County, and Okeechobee. I don't think I named Okeechobee. So 8 counties. We work out of the Cox Science Center and Aquarium. That's our program delivery organization. This year it has been huge. We have a lot of growth this year, which we're really excited about. And then my real job is I'm a middle school science teacher. So I'm in my classroom. This is my classroom with all my Lego because, I got to have Lego. And then robots, of course. We do robots all over the time. But I really love my job. I love what I do. But my passion has always been FIRST. I've been doing FIRST for 26 years now, since 1997. My husband, got me into this. I was teaching 2nd grade, and he came into the kitchen and said, "Hey, I'm going to help this robotics team get started at the high school. It'd only be like an hour or so a week." And we all know how that goes. So 26 years later, 4 children, all through all programs. I've done all programs from Discover all the way up to FIRST Robotics. And that team that he started was FRC 180 SPAM.
Oh, wow.
And that's been our family. We have a huge group of mentors that I adore and love. Great group of sponsors. And every few years we get a whole new group of kids. So it's new and exciting. And I love what I do, and I love what FIRST does for kids, and I see what it does every day, and what's not to like.
Yeah, I know definitely. A little bit about myself actually is that I started FIRST back in like 2nd grade, but my brother's what really got me into it because he was part of Team Super 7, and just going to all those competitions with him. Yeah, it really got me into the program. And then after he graduated, one of my friends actually, who's a member on our team now, actually is like, hey, he actually told me like that song, but it's like, hey, I'm starting a robotics team. Do you want to join? And that was our FLL team. And now we're this FTC team going to the World Championship, So that's something I really like about FIRST is that, it's like the kid sitting next to you on the bus can turn out to become one of your best friends and one of your best teammates.
Exactly. And I don't know, you're a community team, right?
Yeah, we're a community-based team.
So we are too. And the best thing about community teams is we have what they call rival schools. The rival schools are, they're best friends on the team, right? So we actually have 5 high schools that are all involved in our team. And we have rival high schools, but at the same time, they cross that threshold into the pit. And they're all one team. So it really is, it's pretty exciting to see that change come over them. And because, football and all the other stuff can be really, really passionate. Well, when FIRST, we're passionate for each other and we're passionate to lift each other up. So I think that's why I like FIRST so much. The cooperation is really, makes my heart get happy.
Yeah, like cooperation and gracious professionalism are the 2 building blocks that FIRST is made up. And I know for myself, like when I first started, I was like, okay, these are 2 things I just need to memorize for this program. It's nothing else really. But now that I've done the program so much, I've just been able to see all the applications I have of it around me and like how I'm able to use it, not just like in my team, but also outside.
Right.
And sort of speaking about that, have you seen any principles of cooperation and gracious professionalism actually being applied out elsewhere?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we talk about the core values all the time, right? I use them in my classroom. We talk about teamwork and inclusion and all the wonderful things that's core values, and we don't even know, these kids don't even know that's what we're teaching them. But my favorite thing is, a few years ago, we have a story of two teams. They had sister robots. The robots were exactly the same, and Tech Tigers, and I forget the other name of the team. But their trailer was destroyed. Someone ran into the back of their trailer and destroyed the robots. By the time the team got there with their mangled up robots, everybody in the whole pit came together and built one of those robots up so they can actually compete. So, and they ended up, I think, at the end in alliances because they were just a great little, what we call a BLT, a brave little toaster. It's a robot that just keeps going and going and going and going. You love them, but they were great at what they did, and that's the epitome of first, right? Because you're playing 3-on-3. Here you go. You have a robot that you're going against very difficult. It's hard. You're going hard. And then like the next round, you're playing with that team. So, you never want to destroy anybody. And I think that's the key of why we're different than anyone else. I think that was a great thing Woody Flowers came up with. And I think it's the cornerstone of what FIRST is all about.
Yeah, I know, like, sort of speaking robot-wise, that Interstate Championship, we went 5-1 in qualification matches, and the one match that we lost, we chose them in alliance selections, and we actually made it to the division finals, which is really fun and interesting at the same time. It's like, sort of like what Woody Flowers and people in FIRST have said,
Mm-hmm.
you build friends in this program, not everyone you go against is your enemy. So I think,
Yeah.
So
For sure. Right. And what you're saying is, you admired the way that they played, and you and your scouting team probably went, wow, okay, that's a team I want with me, not against me. So it is kind of all that scouting and all the accumulation of what you're doing as a team, right? So that makes a lot of sense. To me, I would always want to pick the ones that, played the hardest and really kept us going. It happens all the time. We always pick bacon. We love bacon. And the reason why we always pick bacon is because they're so much fun to be around, and they're so good at listening to each other, listening to what you're trying to say. Some teams, unfortunately, they don't listen very well when you're behind the glass. It's kind of like they have a hard time with the teamwork, right? They're still learning. But you get some teams like bacon and gravy. What goes better with Spam? Bacon and gravy, right? And you get those teams together, and they seem to, work as a team. They've always worked together. I think that's the fun thing about FIRST. So good on you for picking a top alliance.
Thank you. And at first, as you're saying, nothing goes better nothing goes better with Spam than bacon and gravy. Have there been any specific instances of those teams that you really saw those moments?
Oh, all the time. So we get to play with them a lot because they are from Florida. They're from Central Florida. So we do get to play with them a lot, and off-season events and everything. But probably, things, we're talking about, things that we do outside of FIRST, right? Well, we're actually carrying Gravy's pit to Houston for them. We have a huge trailer that we were able to share. So we actually have Bobcats from Broward County and Gravy from Central Florida who are sharing our trailer to go to Houston. So, it's things like that, you realize that it's really a small group of people here, right? It's a large state, but everybody kind of gets along and we all kind of know each other.
Yeah, I know. I think that's one of the great things about, knowing other FIRST teams within your area. I know with us, at least, there have been moments where something broke and we knew a team in our area, and because we have that bond already, we're able to get those parts and, talk with them a little bit about what happened. And, it's just a great thing to see how that works outside of robotics as well. Like, I know
you're in North Florida, right?
We're actually in Central Florida. So
you are in Central Florida. Awesome.
So
okay.
Yeah, so we're decently close to bacon.
Okay.
Like, I think there's an event called Spark STEM Fest where we were together. Like, I know we have an outreach presentation, so on there we have a video of both our robots just spinning together.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool. I saw it. It's good.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but it's, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and all of my kids that we started with are now in their 30s,
oh
okay, late
wow,
30s. So, yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about these kids have now come back and they have kids. And so I'm seeing the progression and the sustainability, and that's what I'm all for. I mean, hopefully I only have a few years left doing this and I can retire, but I think that sustainability is my main goal. I want this to keep going. This is not the Stacey show. This is not the spam show. This is not the zip tie show. It's everybody's show.
right.
And if we all like make a difference and we all try, right? I think it'll be, this will keep going and going and going. And another 30 years we'll be celebrating again, right?
Yeah. And like sort of speak on top of that, like how does your team, or how do you think, or not, sorry, not your team, how do you think First will remain sustainable for the next 30 years? Have you seen anything or have any ideas?
Yeah. So, I mean, sustainability is kind of a broad topic, right? So, I think First is doing a really great job of getting into the schools, getting into the education. Their new thing they just came out with, which I love, is their camp program. First actually just came out with camp lesson plans, which is fabulous, right? Because, Bacon does their camps. We do camps at SPAM. Now everybody can do camps because you've got the planning and you've got the curriculum. I think, reaching our kids younger and younger. Discover starts at 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. I mean, that's pretty cool. And they use Dublo. And keep working that way. I think that's sustainable. Our next big goal, next big push is start doing our legislators and our government, right? Because we want them to start recognizing what First does in the schools. It is hands-on CTE, hands-on work, hands-on, getting these kids to actually understand and have a real skill that they can use. Not everybody's going to go in and be an engineer, which is fine, but trades are really important too. So I think that's where we need to start working harder, is getting the trades and the other people to acknowledge how wonderful these kids are. Because what other 15-year-old do you know is doing a CNC machine? Not many.
Yeah, I know for at least us this year, something that we really wanted to do was connect with our local government, because we feel like that's something that hasn't been really, seen or vocalized that much within ourselves and within our community. So more recently, we went to this community day event where it was hosted by actually the Sanford government, and we were able to connect with like a smaller community that was recently, like, before it was untapped. So with that, we were able to talk with like the park and recreation manager to sort of think of what after school programs we can create for this area, so like students can, even if they don't want to do First, which obviously is very unfortunate, they can start seeing what's out there for themselves and, seeing what STEM opportunities are out there. So I think it's also really important to sort of find a new way or tread on a path that hasn't been there before and try and get to the end goal of, keeping First together at the end of the day.
Right. And we all know, I mean, the kids that do First they're able to do pretty much anything. They can do networking. They can do the soft skills. They can do the actual machining. They can do things that most kids at their age has never experienced before. And I mean, I have 4 kids, and my 3 older ones are all in college, and they've all had the experience of First, and from First Lego League all the way up to First Robotics. And I see the difference. They all are able to do their skills. They're able to talk to people and converse and make their needs known. And that's a huge thing. They'll have their hands, their phones in their heads. They actually are looking out at the world, and they want to make the world a better place. I mean, that's pretty much what we all want to do. So good on you.
Yeah. I know for me, at least this year, I've been starting to volunteer at more events recently in First. I've been trying to volunteer at FLO events as a judge, because previously I was on a FLO team before, we formed Z.I.P Ties. but I was able to actually like volunteer at our local Orlando League tournament
Yeah.
for FTC, which is a different league, and there I was able to get more exposure, see what's out there. Because first of all, like this is the Orlando League, so there's a lot more businesses and a lot more teams that have not been seen by our team. So we are able to see what's out there for ourselves and sort of start developing this network within Florida and hopefully within across the world to sort of try and find opportunities and find people from unique backgrounds.
Well, and then when you get those businesses, you're starting to do fundraising.
Yeah.
Because that is fundraising and that is sponsorship. And that is huge because right now, everything is really expensive. So traveling to Worlds, we're talking 25, 35,000. It's a lot of money. So for a team to be able to go, you need to be able to fundraise. And I always say, always plan to go to Worlds. One thing about FRC 180, we have gone 25 out of 26 years. So how you do it is you always plan to go. You always make sure you have the money by always doing fundraising. First has a great website, a great fundraising toolkit on the website on firstinspires.org. We also, always plan. The dates now for next year, right? So plan to go. Go ahead and make those, refundable hotel reservations. Start making the, things that you can do that's refundable. But you always plan. Contact the buses. Whatever you're going to do, make sure that you start planning to go and then fundraise to go. There are so many companies out there that want to support you. I mean, look at you. I mean, you're fabulous, right? Why wouldn't they want to support you? And putting their names on the robot and names on the shirts and names, on their banners. It is a huge opportunity for sponsorship for teams and for businesses.
Yeah, I know at least for us that there have been businesses like one of our main sponsors, Sim Central Florida. They've been donating a lot of money for us for especially this World Championship, and we're really grateful for them. But we're also able to, represent them and go to events that they host to show what the first mission is about and show other businesses and hopefully younger members of the community, even though you might have not been able to join the first program, you can still volunteer, you can still help out teams in your area, right? So it just shows to you, no matter what age you are, even after you can't compete anymore, you can still be involved with what first means.
Right. And I mean, the great thing that you just said was that you're not just asking for money, you're asking for a partnership. So businesses want more than you just giving your hand out and say, give me money. They want to see you. So do a lunch and learn, do a bots and bagels, do, snack and stem, whatever you're going to do something at the company and just say, thank you. It doesn't take a whole lot, but they want to see you kids and they see they want to see the robot and they want to see what you're doing. Get your elevator speech going. You have your 30-second elevator speech, you have your 1-minute elevator speech and your 5-minute speech. Get those down and ready.
Yeah. And I think another thing sort of talking about speech is a big thing for at least FRC and FTC is your I don't know how long it's in FRC, but for us, we have a 5-minute judging presentation.
7 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
7. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's a lot.
And I wish we had that, but the judging presentation in there and what you're doing at these business events is basically shaping you into a model of efficiency in those in the judging presentation, so that when you go to the judging competition at States or at Worlds, it's I've done this so many times because I've been at so many business events or outreach events that it's a piece of cake. Right.
And you know what? That makes it such a difference because engineers, I don't know if you know this, engineers have a hard time talking about themselves.
Right.
They're notorious about talking down. There's a joke, how do you know an extroverted engineer? They talk to somebody else's shoes. So, you want to train the guys and train the girls and train them to look at someone's face and to say their spiel. I mean, that just takes repetition, right? Good for you guys. I mean, you have a great reputation, and I'm super excited. I cannot wait. I'll come by and see you on on the field at upstairs. I think you're on the second floor,
Yeah.
third floor, or something like that.
I think
I'll
second or
definitely
third
come and
floor.
see you.
Yeah. We're in the Ochoa division.
Nice.
So I know that's something that we were really confused about because before in previous years there's actually 2 divisions, but now there's 4 divisions, so it's just like crazy.
More teams.
Yeah.
More teams.
They're more fun.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. It's going to be a blast. You'll have a great time.
Yeah, I know, especially for me, I really want to just see what other robots and what other businesses are out there, because I think I went like a while back as a spectator on Team Super 7, but being part of a team, I can actually see how the first mission and what I'm actually doing hands-on is in line with what these other STEM and engineering businesses are doing.
Exactly. And the innovation fair is fantastic, and the conferences are great. If you can, how old are you? 15?
I'm actually 17, so I have one more
17.
year.
My apologies. I'm so sorry. 17. So definitely check out Eileen Rain's Pounding the Pavement, because she has an amazing group of conferences on resumes and how to get your resume out there and how to go for the colleges you want. Wow, it is like mind blowing. It's wonderful, and she's very good at what she does. So definitely check her out.
I know, I haven't been really to any conferences before, or how do you
make the time? It's really good. They need to film it. They really do. If they filmed them, they would make so much money because everybody would want to watch it. Yeah. They're just really good.
Yeah, I know, especially because I think conferences are also during when some teams might have matches. So, teams that might want to go to conference can't even see a recording of it just because they're at a match. So just having a recording or having some form of it outside of the actual conference is really
We'll put that on our notes for next year.
That sounds
because they need to. It needs to be done because they're really great information and you're not getting it after conferences. So, and they have a lot of them. Definitely.
Wow. So, what are these conferences normally about? Is it just...
everything from fundraising to resumes to swerve drive, how to do a swerve drive, how to build a team. There are a lot of great conferences. I did a few of them, and I did not do it this year. I was just out of time. But, fundraising, I think, is a huge one. Bacon also did a great one on branding. That has been extremely helpful. And they have a great branding, concept. So, they're pretty much anything. So take a look at the conferences. They're all on the app. So check out the app and it'll make things a lot easier for you.
Thank you. I know a lot of the stuff that is at Worlds is going to be new for me and the majority of my team. So besides the app, what are some ways, we can familiarize with the competition or just everything that's there?
That's a great question. So definitely look at the Innovation Fair. Innovation Fair has all of the companies, all the sponsors, and they do giveaways. So definitely, put your name in there. I think I got the little, I made little address tabs with my name and all of our team's phone number and email address. And I slapped those stickers on rather than filling them out, because I'm I don't have time. So we did those, and the Innovation Fair is fabulous, really great. And then, of course, College Row, where you meet all the colleges that are being supported by FIRST. Definitely, if you have something, Embry-Riddle's there, MIT, there's tons of them there. So those are the 2 things you definitely need to look at. And then just to have fun at the Discovery Green. Go at the park. They have some time where kids are coming together and play. There's frisbee, cornhole, all kinds of cool stuff for the kids to do. Make friends, network. That's the fun part about it. Student ambassadors meeting, I think you get 2 hours of student ambassadorship. Definitely, if you can be a student ambassador, do that. Get in there, meet the people that are making this all happen. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. We don't ever go outside of the George Brown Convention Center. We always are there, and then at the end of the day, we go back to our hotel or our Airbnb. We don't hang out.
I
Yeah,
know.
we don't get the sites, unfortunately. But I do know that the NASA base or something that's close by there does have some really great deals for teams. So just mention you're with First.
Yeah, I know for us at least, we're a lot of our team are gonna be first ambassadors because our coach last year went with her son because he was a Dean's List finalist and was telling us all about the first ambassador program, which like
Yep.
before I thought it was just it's not really that important, but after she explained it and I looked into it a little bit more, it's a really interesting thing that I wish I could have done, but yeah.
It's okay. You can be an example for next year for the next group. Say, hey, we need to make sure everybody gets a chance. And you do have first ambassadors at all your regionals too, right?
Yeah,
Right at your competition. Yeah. So take advantage of that for sure.
yeah, I know. So I think someone asked what's first. So
Oh, that's easy. For inspiration and recognition of science and technology. It's been around over 30 years. It's the top robotics program for kids in the world. We cover 138 countries.
nice.
Pretty cool.
Something I wanted to get back at is that you're talking about like at the World Championship that you are like networking and meeting new friends is really important. So have
Yep.
you been able to do that at all in your 25, 26 years?
Oh, yes, for sure. Some of my best friends are my first family. I'll tell you my story. 27, Team 27 Rush. Um, she and I met 24 years ago, 25 years ago, when Worlds was called Nationals, and it was at Epcot. And she and I were talking. I think I was pregnant with my son and she just had hers. And we were talking and they announced her as the Woody Flowers winner.
Oh wow.
So she, yeah, she gave her son to somebody and then she walked all the way down the bleachers, all the way across up to the stage. And it was a huge moment. And so when I would volunteer at Detroit, I would go see her because that's where the Michigan teams were. And now, she's now a Hall of Fame team. So now I get to see her at Worlds. And that's the first person I'm going to go find is Team 27 Kyle. And we're going to give a big hug. I only get to see her once every year. But we were Facebook friends and I treasure her greatly. She's an amazing person that has really kept a program going for a very long time. So yeah, good networking, good friends. I do like people. I do like to see all my first people. So yeah, it's a good thing. It
Yeah.
really is.
I know at least for FTC, there's an official FTC Discord. So getting closer to Worlds, I've been able to pour, and it just shows you I'm not even at the World Championship yet, and I've just been able to make some new friends. I've been able to network already, and it just shows you, if like how it's evolving and how fast First is growing. Yeah.
Exactly. And you might not know them perfectly, but they're friends, right? And you're gonna get a relationship with them. That's what it's about.
Yeah. So something I wanted to ask you is I know that I was sort of like reading up a bit about you and doing a little bit of research, and I saw that you're the 2019 First Lego League Volunteer of the Year. So could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes. Yeah. So I did Houston and Detroit. When we had two championships, I was doing both. And I was actually in Detroit, and I was chosen as the 2019 Volunteer of the Year for First Lego League. And very shocked, very, 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 very excited and humbled. And I got my big hand. I don't think I have it here. No, I think it's at home. But I have the big Lego hand. And then I have the minifig that's like this big of myself waving. And then I have the big 5-foot one. And this year, instead of doing the posters, the big 5-foot posters, going up into the volunteer room, we're getting jackets. Oh, wow. So I get a Volunteer of the Year jacket from First. So I'm super excited. But I've done 120 something first events since they started keeping count. I love to volunteer. I love the kids. I absolutely get excited about going in and at 6 o'clock in the morning and setting up and seeing what the kids are doing. I just keep doing it because it's one of the wonderful things that First does, and I like to give back. I always have my blue sparkly cowboy hat with my Lego band on. So if you see me, give me a high five, because that's what I love to do. I love to see these kids, and I love to do what we're doing. So
yeah, I know at least this, or like I think as I was saying before, that I want, as I'm like sort of like on my final 2 years of high school going into college, I want to still be involved with the First program. So just I feel like mentoring and connecting with a younger generation, not through just volunteering, is something that I want to be able to do, because I've been able to see what effect First has given to me, or what impact it's had on my growth as a person, and I want to have the same thing happen to younger students, and motivate the next generation of First and the next generation of industrial professionals.
Yeah. And I mean, I have mentors on my team who've been with me for 20 plus years. Wow. So, these mentors, we always tease, there's hashtag no exit strategy. There's no way to get out. But truthfully, we all like to see the kids exceed. That's it. We want the kids to excel, exceed, and achieve. That's it.
Yeah. I'd say, for me at least, this year I actually started 2 FTC teams at my school, and I was able to see 2.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you. So I've been able to sort of see, there's I think 2 kids in particular that stood out to me, that at the beginning of the season they didn't even know what a bond is or a screw was at all. They were just clueless about it. But unfortunately they didn't get to make it to the World Championship. But I was able to see them at all their competitions, and see them come from this innocent little rookie to this developed person who's been able to develop hands-on skills and soft motor skills. And they were actually able to, as a team of 6th and 7th graders, actually place 10th in their league, and they didn't make it to states at all, but at least from what I saw was a lot of the volunteers and the organizers was shocked, because they did not think this team would do that good, just build a simple drivetrain and call it a day. But no, they defeated I think the first, second, third seeds, but they still didn't make it. So they definitely had a large impact, and it's something that I want to be able to do for teams across the world at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're in a good place, right? You're in a good place and a good mindset, and you're able to do something. That's huge, right? It's great. It's a good thing.
Yeah. So sort of talking about good things and great things, obviously a lot of teams make it to the World Championship. I know for at least I saw the numbers, FRC is 3 times the amount as FTC, which I thought was insane. So what are some of the bigger or greater?
It's over 600. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what are some of the bigger or greater accomplishments your team has been able to have in your 26 years?
Wow. Okay. We're still here after 26 years. That's an accomplishment. In 2012 we won the World Championship. We got on Einstein. We got to win. We were playing with some great teams. We had a team from Arkansas and a team from New Jersey. So Team 25 and Team 16. So we were able to win in 2012, which was great. It always, teamwork makes the dream work. So what won us that, and people always ask, is our scouting. We really were great scouting, and we were able to find Team 16 that hadn't been doing very well, but they did great in the previous regionals. and we picked them up for a song, and that's really what put us over was our awesome scouting. So whenever people say, scouting's not that important, I'm like, it is. It's important. You need to know what the other teams are doing and what they can do. So that happened. And then 2013, we led the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. And that was pretty cool with those same teams. We were able to lead the parade along with, the Cows. I forgot the Cows number. The Cows that won chairman's that year, the Hall of Fame team. And so those were really cool. And then some of the other stuff our team wins, and we have a great time with it. This is our first year in Tallahassee, and we loved it. And we will definitely be going back. We went to all 3 regionals in Florida this year and did very well. So I'm really proud of them and all the things they accomplished. But, every team is different. Every team kind of ebbs and flows, right? So, the thing that I really want to encourage teams to do is, just keep going. Don't stop. If a teacher tells you they can't be your teacher anymore, then find another teacher. If your coach says, you know what, I just need to do something else, this is taking too much of my time, find somebody else. There are a lot of people out there. You just have to get out there and search for them. But get some good mentors and treat your mentors like kings and queens. Treat them well. Take care of your mentors. They're giving up their time and all their money and all their effort for you guys. So treat them well. That's pretty much the whole thing. And then we have given last 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. We give out scholarships for our seniors. So we have our top seniors give a essay, and they get picked, blind pick, and we give out some money for them for college. And so we do raise money for our seniors for college. So I'm very proud of that. That's a lot. So, every year it's different. Every robot's different. But, we always say we build robots to build up the kids. So we use those robots. It's not about the robot. It's about the kids.
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing. But, obviously there are teams that are out there just for the robot, but they don't realize what value they're missing out on or what skills that they're losing out on. I know at least for our team, the rookie members at the beginning of this year, to the end of this year, they've been actually able to develop a working, competing robot that, goes against our competition robot for scrimmages. Mm-hmm. And it just they weren't just working on the robot, they were also developing the necessary skills that they can use for next year when, our senior members graduate. And at the same time, they're also developing those hands-on skills that, that help us this year. And it just shows what can, continue onwards. So,
Yep, exactly. So, good job.
Thank you. Yeah, and sort of talking... I'm trying to think about something, actually, I was going to ask you a question. For volunteering for 120 events, how do you go about doing that? What are some of the things that you have done to, continue that, 120 events is insane,
It is insane, but, I don't have many weekends, truthfully. And that's just first regulated events. Obviously, off-season and other events don't count, right? This is just first. One of my favorite things I discovered a couple years ago is called First Global. And I was invited to come. It was in 2019, and I was invited to go to Dubai. So I flew to Dubai and did that. It was 138 countries, and I fell in love with it. It's kind of like First Tech Challenge, using the same type of kit of parts, but they do more First Lego League type innovative projects, right? So they really work with their country, work with their community, and there's one team per country, which is really amazing. And so I loved it. I fell in love with it. And then last year I was invited to Geneva, Switzerland. So I went to Geneva and did the same thing. Absolutely the best experience ever. And then this year we're going to Singapore in Malaysia.
Wow.
So that's going to be in October. So the volunteer part of me, absolutely. I get a kick out of seeing the kids. I get a rush about talking to the kids and excitement of that they're giving me, and it feeds on itself, right? Is it exhausting? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. But it's priorities. For me, a priority to volunteer is making sure that every child gets their story heard. Everybody gets something heard. And that's to me most important thing of all. And when I'm working with FRC, I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Curry Field this year at Worlds. I am to make sure every volunteer feels wanted, needed, and appreciated, right? That's my job, is to make sure those volunteers have the best time on that field. Whether it's making up goofy sayings, whether it's passing out candy and lifesavers saying, you're meant to be here and here's a mint, whatever it is, it's those little touches that I think that I enjoy the most. And when I'm a volunteer, I want to be appreciated. And, people give you pats on the back and here's a small little gift of appreciation. It just makes everything better. And then the kids come and give you high fives and thank yous. You get pigs from Exploding Bacon, and you get, all kinds of cool stuff. But it's not about the stuff. It's about making those moments with the kids. That's what makes it so important and so special. And I hope you guys give out zip ties. I'm hoping that is your thing.
We are giving out zip ties, actually.
Do you give out zip ties?
We're that's something that we did.
There you go.
Is that we're like, okay, every team needs to get a bundle of zip ties. Like, we have blue and orange zip ties, and I know definitely.
I love that.
I don't know. Do you know this year's challenge for FTC, the Power Play Challenge? So.
Yes, Power Play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know the tiny cones, or the cones that we use for, our cone elements?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
No problem. So we actually 3D printed mini versions of those to actually give out to people. So I know if you stop by, we can give you a little zip tie with a little orange 3D printed cone for you to wear, and you can just wear that wherever you go for judging or volunteering.
Nice.
So just just tell anyone that Just
that's a great idea. I love it. I love that. And and Spam gives out Spam cans. So we have Spam cans, and all around the edges around it is not the Spam label, it's the team label. And we use like the robot information and the team information, and we give those out as awards. So, if you've got the best gift award, or you have like the best award, we've gotten that one before. You get the best defense award. So we try to give those out because that's all about networking, right? It's all about getting out there, meeting the teams, because everyone on that division, they don't know you. So how are they going to get to know you is you go out and you say, hey, here's my zip tie with my little cone on it, this to remember us by, and, that kind of stuff, and have a conversation. I think that's what it's all about. It's not just it is cute stuff. I do like that cone. It's a great idea, but it's about more. It's about becoming a conversation.
Yeah, I know for us, actually, that's like some of the things that we're trying to do is like the cones and the zip ties aren't just like, they're not just, souvenirs and things people can get, but it's a way for us to, start a conversation, or, a team comes up to us and it's like, hey, can we have a cone?
Exactly.
That starts building up a conversation that, can lead to a new friendship, a new alliance, right? So there's more to it than what's seen. But yeah.
I remember when this is a long time ago, 1998, we had the buttons, that was a huge thing in 98. And that has still continued now 26 years later. Everybody has a button, and what a great idea to get kids to have a conversation back and forth is for a button. We got the shirt exchange. People do that too. So, it's all these things are conversation starters. So I think that's a great way of getting these kids to start talking It's a great thing. And then you can remember the teams that you like. Oh my goodness, Z.I.P Ties. They gave us that really cool cone. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know for us, that's like something that we hope sets us apart that other teams don't have. But yeah, like I just can't wait to see what's at Worlds and what holds in for our team at least. So,
well, and you remember, everybody's there has won something, right?
Right.
So just go in as everybody has gone to Worlds. They have all won something. So they're all going in as, top in their area. So don't put all, don't get excited or upset if something happens. Just, lay it cool, play it cool. You'll be fine and have a good time.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's like one of the biggest advice our mentors actually gave us. No matter what happens, win or loss, the robot disconnects, a part explodes. Just keep your game face on. Just be
magic smoke.
Anything can happen, but you control what you do at the end of the day. So if you just keep that mentality throughout the rest of this week, actually, you should be fine. And you should be able to actually experience what the first World Championship really is. So
exactly. And enjoy the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it is definitely a show, right? Enjoy it. The lights, the smoke machines, the whatever it is, just enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, and the other thing that you need to remember is take this memory and take this excitement and bring it on to next year. Get ready for next season because we know next season's coming. April 22nd, we're going to find out what the theme is for next year. And you're going to be blown away because you're like, all these little ideas are now going to be percolating in your head. And you're going to be so excited about what's going to happen next year. So, keep that in check because it will happen in September for FTC, in August for FLL, and for January for FRC.
Yeah, more than Worlds, that's probably something I'm excited about is because that's going to be my final season in the FTC. And, I just can't wait to see what's in store for us and, for myself next season. But, yeah. So we're sort of coming up to end.
Right. And definitely apply to all the scholarships next year for you. Okay?
Yes, I'll make sure I do that. But yeah, like obviously it's really important to utilize like the resources that FIRST has to give you, and the way that you utilize that can, be to your benefit or be to your downfall. But, it just, what FIRST provides you it is life-changing at least, If it's not the scholarships, it's the experiences, it's the moments that you experience in FIRST that really changes and makes an impact on your life. So, we're sort
exactly.
of... Yeah.
That's perfect. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So we're sort of coming up to the end of our time here, and before we end any Z.I.P Talks, the question that we'd like to ask is if you have to give any advice to any team, any FIRST, any FTC, any FRC team, what advice would that be and why?
Advice to a team and why? Probably the advice I want to give to everybody is this is just a stepping stone in your life. Okay, whether you're in FIRST LEGO League, it's a stepping stone to FIRST Tech Challenge. FIRST Tech Challenge, stepping stone to FIRST Robotics. FIRST Robotics, it's a stepping stone into your career. Everything has a purpose. But I want you to enjoy every single moment. Don't keep wishing, I wish I was on FIRST Tech Challenge, or I wish I was out of school. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Enjoy every moment. Enjoy the highs, enjoy the lows. The reason is because this is your life, and think of how many people you touch. You touch hundreds of thousands of people in your life. And right now with FIRST, you're touching a lot of people, and you are wanted and needed And absolutely, I am so excited. And I hope I see every one of you at Worlds. And if I don't see you this year, I'll see you next year, because always plan to go to Worlds. Always. That's it.
Well,
Thanks, Moel.
no problem.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for joining us today. It was really